Video number 47, and it's for all of the orchestra instruments, violin, viola, cello, and bass. And in this video, we are going to learn about something called eighth notes. Now, you have been playing quarter notes. What I have on the board here, you should be very familiar with. However, our music would get kind of boring after a while if every single note was the same length. And the music that you listen to, the music that you sing, not every note is the same length. So we need to start learning different rhythms, okay? Rhythm is what we're going to start working with now. So what I have on the board are 4 quarter notes, and I also have a fraction tile for each quarter note. All right, this fraction tile is representing 1 beat, okay? So there are 4 of these fraction tiles up here. They each get 1 beat. You might recognize these kind of tiles from when you were like in 2nd grade math or whenever you learned fractions. What I'm going to do with each of these 1 beats is I'm going to chop them into 2 equal parts, okay? Now, equal parts, each 2 is going to make, it's going to take 2 of them to make a whole beat. So you've already probably figured it out, but how many beats are each of these new kind of notes going to get? And of course the answer is halves, because as you know from your younger days in math, and you hopefully retain that information, 2 halves make a whole. All right? So notice, our quarter note gets both halves of the beat. A quarter note lasts this long, it gets both halves. Now, what I'm going to do to make a separate note, I'm going to chop this note in half. A quarter note will now become an eighth note, all right? And what an eighth note looks like, for now, an eighth note is always going to have a buddy just like that, okay? Here's the first eighth note of that beat. Here's the second eighth note of that beat, but they both belong to beat 1. We have, of course, 4 beats. I'm going to change that for a second. 4 beats in a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how we have been counting. Now, I have gone and divided each of these beats into 2 halves. How does that look musically? You get another note. What signifies it as an eighth note is this bar right here. Now, some of you that know a little bit more about music, you might know that an eighth note can also be by itself and look like this, okay? However, for now, all of our eighth notes are going to have a buddy. And in fact, sometimes you might see 4 eighth notes grouped together just like that, all right? They are still eighth notes. What signifies it as an eighth note is this bar attaching the notes together. So again, for now, all of your eighth notes are going to have a buddy. It's not until book 2 that the eighth note gets to stand alone. Sorry, that last eighth, that looks a little bit weird. Now, I need you to get your pencil out because we're going to change something in your book. There are different ways to count eighth notes, all right? Your book, and I'm holding a cello book here, but it doesn't matter. I want you to open to page number 20. Your book counts them like this. Look at number 66 in your book, and it says 1 and 2 and. The 1 is the first half of the beat, the and is the second half of the beat. However, we're not going to count them like that. I want you to change all of those ands to this right here. Te, T-E, okay? There are different systems, different ways to count, and this is using what's called the Eastman System. Not horribly important that you know it's called the Eastman System, just wanted to let you know that. So the first eighth note is on beat 1, the first half of the beat. This eighth note is on te of beat 1. Because look, how many te's do we have? Well, when I finish this up here, we have got 4 te's in the measure. How do we identify which te is which? This te belongs to beat 1. See that? That's part of beat 1. This te belongs to beat 2. That's part of beat 2. Okay? So the 1 on the fraction tile each time, all that signifies is that it is 1 full beat, okay? When I'm actually counting them, this is beat 1, because that's the first beat. This is beat 2. It has 2 halves now because we split it in half. So how do we play these? Well, I'm going to put my metronome on. And I'm going to, of course, put it 60. It's like my favorite thing, apparently. Some of you have a metronome that will allow you to play 8 notes on it, okay? And that's a great thing to help you do this. But right now, what I want you to do is just clap the quarter notes, which is what I have going here. Clap with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. Now, when I tell you to, I want you to go twice as fast, okay? So remember, these notes that are twice as fast as quarter notes are called 8 notes, and they need to be equal, all right? You can't just clap twice in one beat and it not be equal. They each get half of a beat, okay? So clap when I tell you to go, do twice as fast. Ready, and go. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take, 4 take, 1 take, 2 take, 3. Now back to quarter notes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now twice as fast. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take, 4 take. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take, 4 take. Now, if you did this when I said to go twice as fast, you went, I'm going to turn the metronome back on. You did this. That's not equal. Is it 2 claps in one beat? Absolutely. But is it 2 8th notes? Absolutely not. All right? So make sure they are equal. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take, 4 take. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take, 4 take. All right? Now what we need to do, and I'm only going to do this on a violin so that you can see it. I want us to play quarter notes and 8th notes. I'm going to turn the quarter notes back on the metronome, and we're going to play this on open D, okay? Just play 4 quarter note open Ds. Just quarter notes right now. Echo me. And go. D, 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 D. Try that again. Quarter note Ds. D, 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 D. Now, we used a full bow for quarter notes. Quarter notes got a full beat. They also get a full bow. So 8 notes get half of a beat. How much bow do you think they should get? What should we do with our bow? Should we move our bow twice as fast, or should we get half a bow? You get half a bow. So does your bow actually go any faster? The notes go faster, you change faster, but your bow does not go faster because you're only using half of it. So use the same speed and only go half as far. So let me show you what that looks like, okay? I'm going to do quarter notes first. I'm doing measured quarter notes and then measured 8th notes. Just watch. 1, 2, full bow, then. Okay? Watch that again. The 8th notes only halfway. If you try to go a full bow on 8th notes, you're going to sound like this. That's too much. It's too much. Less bow. Half a bow. Now, it might look like I'm moving my bow faster, but I'm not. I'm just changing direction more quickly. In fact, twice as often, right? Do with me 4 quarter note Ds. With me. Ready, quarter notes go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do 8th notes. With me. 1 take, 2 take, half a bow, and go. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take, 4 take. Okay, try that again. 8th notes. Ready, and go. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take, 4 take. Okay, now go back to quarter notes. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now eighth notes with me. Red C, eighth notes go. One tay, two tay, those are eighth notes. All right, half a bow for half a beat. Now what I want to do is I want to combine quarter notes and eighth notes. I'm going to leave these as eighth notes, but I'm going to turn these back into quarter notes. Now, does the tay still exist? Yeah, it does. It does. Are we going to change on the tay on these? Absolutely not. Are there still two halves in that beat? Absolutely. Here's the thing, and I want you to remember this. Remember this rule, you're going to hear me say it a lot. A quarter note gets a number and a tay. Quarter note gets a number and a tay, both of these. And eighth note gets a number or a tay. Does this tay still exist? Yes, it does. Do you change on it? No, you do not. That's the difference with a quarter note and an eighth note, okay? So, if you have a metronome that allows this to happen, sorry, it takes a while to get there. These are eighth notes, okay? If you have a metronome like this, it has the little symbol for eighth note. It's super tiny. I don't think there's any way you're going to see that in the video here. It's super duper tiny. All right, but tay, two tay, three tay, four tay. So quarter notes, you're going to play through both halves. So I've got these clicking now. Now it's clicking eighth notes. That's half a beat. One tay, two tay, three tay, four tay. A quarter note, it's one note, two clicks. Not two beats, two clicks. Okay, the clicks are playing eighth notes. It takes two halves to make a whole. So just play quarter notes with these clicks. Red C, with me. Red C, and go. One tay, two tay, three tay, four tay. See how a quarter note gets two clicks? It gets a number and a tay. Okay, now do the eighth notes. Now, this is eighth note clicking, so one click, one note, because each click is an eighth note. Each click is half a beat. One tay, two tay, with me, eighth notes go. One tay, two tay, three tay, four tay. Okay? Now, quite often in our music, we have eighth notes combined with quarter notes. So here, we have four eighth notes and then two quarter notes. So this one tay, two tay, three, four. Short, 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 long, long. Half, 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 whole, whole. When I said half, what I meant by that was using half of your bow. Okay? Echo me on this one. Okay? Echo me. This rhythm right here. Your bow still starting down here at the frog. Echo me. One tay, two, three tay, and go. One tay, two tay, long, long. Try that again. Echo me. And go. One tay, two tay, long, long. All right? So as we get further in our music, we're going to be changing the combination of eighth notes and quarter notes, and eventually we'll be adding quarter rest back in there, and I think it makes things even more complicated, but much more fun to play. All right? If you're confused by this video, the first thing I would do actually is just watch it again and see what maybe you pick up on the second time. If you're still confused after that, please let me know. Contact me so I can help you with these things, okay? Eighth notes, here you gotta remember, eighth note, a number or a tay, quarter note, a number and a tay. That's the rule I want you to remember right now as far as counting goes. Eighth notes, half a count, half a bow. Quarter notes, one full count, one full bow. All right?